Hello friends. So I'm excited to share this video with you in my backyard. To start, we're gonna need the props that we will need. So you might need to pause the video and then go grab them. Would be a blanket or a towel, blocks, or you can get books, something that you can kind of rest your hand on if you need it. And I don't think we're gonna need a strap today. So just these two things, blocks, books, or a blanket, towel, something like that. We're gonna start on our backs. So we're gonna take the blanket or the towel, we're gonna roll it up, okay? Gonna get this nice roll, and we're gonna put that in between our shoulder blades. So our head, our neck is gonna hang off of that, okay? Our feet are gonna go together. So we're in this open butterfly pose. You're gonna try to kind of get that, depending how long it is, right? So if it's really long, it's probably gonna have to go right at your back, and then you're gonna lay down on it. But if not, it doesn't have to really be on your low back, as long as it's from your neck down and in between your shoulder blades. That's what we want. You wanna bring the soles of the feet together. You're gonna bring your hands in a cactus pose. Okay, so that means the shoulders are gonna line up with the elbows, or elbows lining up with the shoulders, and then the wrist lining up with the elbows, right? So 90-degree angles. The head should be hanging off, and maybe you could place your head, the crown of the head on the mat. Eyes closed. We're gonna just be here for a couple breaths. It's really nice heart opener, so we have a little bit of a back bend here. Your inner thighs open, so heels nice and close to your pelvis. If it's too much of an inner thigh stretch, you can walk them away. So the farther your feet are from your pelvis, the more easeful this will be. And the closer, obviously, the more work, right? So we're gonna try to find some comfort in this space. Heart is open. Inner thighs are open. It's a very vulnerable position to be in, right? You're just very exposed here. So we're going to try to find some comfort in that space of openness. Sometimes we want to kind of cocoon in and draw ourselves in to find that kind of inner safety. But, the growth happens when we kind of meet the edge of discomfort a little bit. So this might not be a very welcoming pose for some people. For some of you might really enjoy this nice, open, kind of, drawing the heart to the sky pose. And in that space of openness, we can find a sense of nurturing here. The heart center is a place of care, compassion, love. So maybe offer that to yourself. Create a space of welcoming where there's no judgment, there's no critique. There's just allowing what will happen to come. There's no critical voice in this space of nurturing and love. It's just observance, awareness, watching, greeting, accepting. And in our yoga practice, that's the space you want to practice in. You want to carry that out throughout the rest of your day, throughout the rest of your life, essentially. So we need to practice, and we need to be in the mat. One way to practice is on the mat, right? Okay, so we're gonna take a couple more breaths here, and then we'll start to move, nice and gentle movements. It might be hard to take deep breaths in this really heart opening space, but just bring your awareness to your breathing. So fill in as much as you can without any kind of strain, and feel the navel kind of rise and the chest rise. And as you exhale, try to let go as much as you can. Let the navel drop towards your spine. Let the low back kind of relax even more. take one more deep breath like that. Come back to a normal pattern of breath. And then we'll start to move. Check into where you are at right now before you move, how you're feeling, what your sensations are like, what your mood is like. Just do a quick check-in, and we're going to check in again at the end of class. And we're going to take our one knee on top of the other, doesn't matter which one. You're going to roll on over to your side. We're going to get rid of that towel or blanket, put it off to the side. Bring your knees in towards your chest, and then just start to make some circles. Grab a hold of the knees, open them out to the side, and then bring them back together again. Open them back to the side, bring them back together again. So just kind of big circles here, massaging the low back, getting the hips warmed up. Yeah. And then pulling them in nice and tightly. Pull them in nice and tightly. Bring your chin to your chest. You're going to bring your forehead towards your knees. Come into this nice tight ball. Flex your feet a lot, and then reach your fingertips towards the back of your mat. Round your back. Chin is tight into the chest. Maybe your forehead will touch your knees. Press your low back down, and then hollow out that belly on your exhale. Draw the belly towards the spine, towards the mat. Your next inhale, you're going to bring your arms up, your feet to the mat, and then reach your arms back behind you. Press your feet into the mat. Soles of the feet really, really connected. Heels in line with your glutes. You're going to press the hips up into this nice, easy bridge pose. So very chin away from the chest, right hips up. Nothing too drastic, just kind of basic right now. I'm not going in too deep. This is our first posture, real posture of the class. So let's just kind of hold and feel into this. Make sure chin is away from the chest. Make sure hips are nice and even. Now, as we exhale, we're going to round each vertebrae slowly to the mat. So the last to touch is your tailbone. And then we're going to come back to that ball, chin to the chest. The knees are going to come to the forehead. You're going to squeeze and hold. Couple breaths here. In and out. Again, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Fingertips all the way up and back. Press into the heels. And then maybe go a little bit higher. Squeeze the glutes together. Chin away from the chest. Yeah, reaching the arms back behind you. Really relaxing those shoulders towards the mat. This is another inhale here, so you get a little bit higher, and then you're going to exhale again, escalate your spine one vertebrae at a time until the tailbone reaches down and you're coming back to your ball. Hold. 2 breaths. We're going to do this one more time. We're going to inhale, take it up and back, press into the heels, lift up the glutes, squeeze those glutes extra hard. Lift the chin away from the chest. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time again into your ball and hold. Okay, this time we're going to just grab a hold of our right shin as we extend the left leg out. Left leg could either hover over the mat, or you could just let it rest. Chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Get that nice stretch. Big inhale, then as you exhale, you're going to swap it out. Left knee to the forehead, chin to the chest, round your back. One more time. Let's take the right in, left out. And swap it out. Left in, right out. Very good. Release that to the mat. Reach your arms back. Get a nice body on here. Point the toes, extend the arms out. Big breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to roll it all the way to seated, one vertebrae at a time, and then reach for your toes and fold chin to chest. Big inhale, big exhale. Let it all go. So we're going to roll it up to seated. Open up the heart here. Bring your hands to your side. Press into your hands to lift the heart. Bring your shoulder blades together. So arms should be nice and straight. Now, if you have short arms and you can't get those hands down, you could bring the blocks or books under your hands and open up the heart. If your back is uncomfortable here, sit on a blanket, raise the hips. Now we're gonna reach the arms all the way out and up. We're gonna lift, we're gonna get a little bit taller. Flex the feet a lot. Yes, toes up to the sky. Get really, really tall. Now thumbs are reaching back for the sky, or for the front of the mat. And then as you exhale, we're gonna turn to the left, and we're trying to get our shoulders to stack. So we're gonna try to get the left and the right shoulders to line up. So left is going back, right is going forward. Arms are reaching out. And then inhale, take it back to center. Nice and long again. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, turn over to the right. So we're gonna plug our shoulders into their sockets. Right? We're gonna bring our shoulder blades together, and we're gonna try to get that left shoulder to line up with the right. Feel the twist from your navel. Feel it from the navel all the way up to the clavicle. Inhale, take it back to center. One more time, you're gonna exhale, turn to the left. Keep yourself spine really long, right? Really like it's just coming straight up. There's no leaning back. Inhale, center, and then exhale over to the left. Very good. Inhale, center. Let's exhale, lean it back a little bit. Again, I'm flexing my toes really high up towards the sky and leaning back. And now I'm gonna point the toes and bring myself up to seated again. I'm gonna exhale, flex and lean back. And inhale, come up to seated. And point. Yeah, exhale, flex, lean back. Inhale, point. One more time, exhale, flex, lean back. Inhale, point. This time we're gonna flex, lean back, try to keep the back nice and long, and start to lift one leg at a time, marching. So flexing and lifting, flexing and lifting for 4 breaths, for 3 breaths, for 2 breaths, and 1. Beautiful. Inhale, take it up, point, and fold. So let's round it back up. Let's grab those feet. Come back to that butterfly pose. I'm just gonna face you. Baddha Konasana. So bound angle pose where our feet are really pressing up against each other. Our knees are out. We're gonna take a big inhale. We're gonna open up the heart. So hands in front of the knees. Arch the back. Take your cow back here, where your back is arched, your tailbone is reaching back. We're gonna exhale into a cat, right? So that means I'm doing that scary back cow or cat back, where I'm arching, spreading the shoulder blades, tucking the tail, and the head drop. And I'm gonna come back to my cow. Right, so tailbone is reaching back, shoulder blades together, really loosening up the spine. One more time with our cat, tucking the tail, taking it back. I'm gonna find center. I'm gonna do a few circles here, just loosen it all up. So I'll take a few towards the left, and then I'm gonna go a few towards the right, center, left, and back. Good. So awesome. So beautiful. How are we feeling? You feeling good? Let's take that left leg and stack it and take it out to the side. Bring our right foot on the inside of that leg. We're gonna inhale, reach our arms all the way up to the sky. Feel that pressure of that left foot into the right leg. So we're going right leg out, left leg in. For those of you who don't know me, a lot of my clients are very aware of this. I'm always messing up my left and right. I'm trying to mirror you. I always mirror when I'm facing. So even when I don't mirror, I mess it up, but I'll be sure to correct myself, okay? So we're lifting up on your inhale, get nice and long. And then we're gonna exhale, we're gonna turn towards that right foot, and you're gonna bow right over it and take a nice fold over just that leg. And walk yourself out maybe a little bit more, chin to chest, hold. Flex that foot. Now take your left hand, reach around and grab the
pinky edge of your right foot and bring your right hand back behind you. Now you're going to try to get the left shoulder towards that right knee, chin towards your chest, forehead towards the knee. This is actually called head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So we want to get that head as close to that knee as possible, chin towards the chest. It might be way up here, and that's totally fine. We're working our way, right? It's all about the process. It's not about anything else. It's just moving towards growth. That's what the practice is. It's all about moving, growing to our best versions of ourselves every day, and it's always, every day is a different version, right? We're gonna take our arm up. You're gonna bring that left arm behind you, then the right arm comes up. And you're gonna find a little bit of a lift here. Maybe we can roll onto that right knee and lift the hips and then root down with our foot. So rolling on the left knee, rooting down with the right foot, looking up to the sky. Nice stargazer here. Open up the heart, maybe lean back a little bit more. And then you're gonna exhale, take the right arm all the way over to the left and then reach it back over that right leg. Roll it up, let's take it to the other side. So I'm in my Baddha Konasana again. I'm gonna extend the left leg out, bring the right foot in, press it in. I'm gonna inhale, take a lift, get nice and tall. Turn over to face that left leg, take a bow and fold. Chin to chest, forehead towards the knee. Maybe grab onto your ankle or your calf, or maybe you could even hold onto your foot. Make sure the foot is flexed so you get a little calf stretch here. Big inhale, exhale, go a little bit deeper. Maybe forehead touches the knee. You're gonna take the right hand on the pinky edge of that foot, reach the left hand back behind you. You're gonna try to aim for the right shoulder to meet the left knee, chin to chest, forehead towards the knee, and we breathe. Our next inhale here, we're gonna take that right arm up and over behind us. Then the left arm is by the ear. So it is all about lifting from the hips, right? Lifting from the hips, rolling on to that right shin. My left foot is rooting down, turning inward a bit. And then I'm opening the heart, so I'm leaning up and back. Here's your heart opener. Bringing my arm by my ear and my chin up towards the sky, towards the armpit. And then exhale, I'm gonna kind of do this nice roll over towards my left leg again, fold over, roll myself up. And we're gonna come onto our hands and knees. All right, hands and knees on the floor. So tabletop, basic tabletop position is a reminder for those who are total yogis, right? Always a reminder. We can always use reminders, and even especially for those who are new at this. So you want to line up. See, tabletop means you are square, right? Everything is level. So you want your shoulders to line up with your wrists. Shoulders line up with your wrists. And I like the width, to find out the width of my table, is to get my middle fingers to touch. So I turn my middle fingers in. That would be the width of my table. And then my fingertips point forward. So I want to make sure my wrists line up with my shoulders. And then I look back and I look at my knees and I make sure that they're right in line with my hips. Okay, so we're pretty square. Now once we're in this shape, we're gonna start to do our cat and cows. And we've done cat and cows a couple times, right? But this is the classic cat and cow position, posture. So we inhale into our cow, where we arch the back. And imagine your heart is going through your arms. Your inner elbows start to rotate forward a bit, and your shoulder blades draw in. You stretch that throat. So this is the countering of all the text necks we have, right? The rolling forward of our shoulders and the hunching forward of our chin. So this is so important to counter that. So even if it's uncomfortable, be in the discomfort, meet the edge of it, and throw the head back as far as you can go. As you exhale, now push the mat away from you. Tuck the tail now in between your legs. Spread the shoulder blades apart. Bring the chin to your chest. Let the ears come in between your arms without shifting the hips back. There is no shifting ever. It is just your spine. Hips are not moving. Nothing is moving but your spine and your shoulder blades. You come back to cow, you bring your shoulder blades together.
You lift the heart, you lift the tailbone. It's a happy face you're making, smiley face with the spine.
And now we're making a rainbow with the spine. You tuck everything. Okay, so we have our cats and cows. Now we're gonna just kind of find tabletop and just shift the hips, get into the hips a bit. Side to side. If you know me, you know I love to get into the hips. As you get older, those hips get cranky. A couple things get cranky, right? The low back, the hips, oh, and the neck, the shoulders. So this is a medicine. It's medicine for all of that. Every day, do a little bit of this. You play this video every day, every other day, a couple times a week. And all those icky, sticky spots start to open up. Okay, so we're gonna take an extended table here where you're gonna reach your right leg out, root through the ball of the foot, and then press the heel down. Really press down and get that stretch in your calf. We're gonna inhale, let that leg float up, and then cross it over towards your left. Root it down again. Press the heel towards the mat, and then take your left shoulder towards your left hip a bit. Press it and reach. Nice. Swing it back. You're gonna bend the knee and arch into a cow back now without sinking into the left hip. Remember, we're not sinking in the left hip. We got to put weight into that right hand too. And then as we exhale, I'm going to take that right knee. I'm going to bring it towards my right shoulder and bring my hips forward a little bit. Right shoulder, right elbow, something where you can really make contact, leg to arm. And then as you inhale, we're gonna bring that foot up and over again. This time we're gonna root down. We're gonna come back to that stargazer pose that we did in the beginning. And we're gonna open up the heart. This time it's a little bit different. You're up a little bit higher on your shin, right? So right arm comes up, you lift through the heart, shoulder blades draw in. Oh, such a beautiful stretch. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Again, bring that right knee to your elbow. And hold. And last time we're gonna take that stargazer. The leg is gonna go all the way out. Over towards the left, you open up the heart, draw the shoulder blades together, reach the arm by your ear, and then bring it back a bit. Bring your chin towards your armpit. Straighten that right leg a lot. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Right knee is gonna meet the left. Now we're gonna step the hands forward just a little past the shoulders now. We're gonna bring the hips down towards the mat. This might be too much for your low back. If it is, bend the elbows. If you're okay, keep the elbows straight. Come into a little hanging cobra here. We're just like lifting out of it. It's in between cobra and up dog, right? So shoulder blades together. We're gonna push away from the mat to lift. So we're not shrinking. I always say in my kids' yoga classes, no shrinking in yoga. We only grow, we only shine. There's no shrinking, there's only growing. And as we exhale, we're gonna come all the way down, bend the elbows. So you should land where your hands are right under your shoulders. And your elbows are nice and tight towards your body. So this is your classic cobra position. Your legs are zipped up like you have one long mermaid tail behind you. There's no pigeon toeing those feet, right? So big toes are touching and the heels are touching. We're gonna press into the hips, the pubic bone, and we're gonna inhale, come up to a little baby cobra. Keep the elbows bent, throw the head back. And we're gonna hold this for a good solid 5 breaths. So be here. Try to squeeze the glutes together. As you're doing that, draw the shoulder blades together more. Imagine you're being pulled forward through the heart. Again, do that nice stretching of the throat, countering, again, that text neck. Open it up. Make sure you're pushing the floor away from you. You're not shrinking. There is no shrinking. 2 more breaths. 1 and 2. Roll it back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Oh my goodness, so good. We're gonna push back into a child's pose. So far, so good, right? Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna start to kick it up a little bit. Let's interlace our fingers and do some wrist stretching here because we did a lot of work on our wrist just now. So just interlace them and do some circles. We're gonna come up and sit on your heels. If this is too much for your knees, you can grab your block. I'm not gonna be here very long. You grab your block or a book or something and put in between your heels and have a seat. So again, hands are gonna go to prayer. We're gonna take the back of our hands together, bring our fingers towards our chest and roll them out. So do a few wrist rolls. Whenever you start yoga, most people, not everyone, but most people complain about their wrists because it's so much wrist work. We don't use our wrists that often, so we feel it when we first start, right? Eventually, the wrists will get strong, and it happens pretty fast. The wrists will start to get strong pretty quickly, and then you don't feel it anymore. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna take a big inhale here. We're gonna exhale. We're gonna take a side lean over to the right. Let's keep our arms by our ears and try to keep our hips centered on our heels. So if you're sitting on your heels, keep your hips right in line with our heels. Inhale back to center, exhale over to the left. And again, inhale center, exhale over to the right. Inhale center, exhale over to the left. Very good. Let's take a nice back bend, breathe it out, and then we're gonna exhale, come right back to that table. So we had a little break on our wrist. We're gonna do the other side here. Okay, so we're gonna extend the left leg straight back behind us. We're gonna root through the left foot. We're gonna bring our heel towards the mat, stretch that back leg. Yeah, so before we kick it up, we gotta do the other side. And then we're gonna kick it up a little. And take this over to the right. Bring our heel to the mat, get that nice stretch. We're gonna inhale, take that leg up and over, and then bring the left knee towards your left elbow. Now make sure your hands are a little farther forward than your elbows so you can get that drop in the hip. And now as we bring it up and over, we're gonna come to that stargazer pose where I bring the left arm up, my hips open, right, up towards the sky, and I'm gonna lean back. Oh, such a good stretch. Let the head go back. As you exhale, let's take that hand back down, bring the left knee towards your elbow, right? So elbow or shoulder, wherever we can get it. We're gonna try to trace it up that upper arm. And then we take it back to our stargazer. Big breath in. Very good. Exhale. Take that hand down, come right back to that kind of past your shoulder, table, drop your hips. So when you're in this position, again, wrists should line up with your shoulders. Shoulders are reaching back, heart is reaching forward, head is going back. We're gonna slowly make our way down from here all the way to Cobra. So we hold. Once we get our pubic bone plugged in, you hold. Maybe you can get your hip bones down too. And then you breathe for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and take it back. Okay, let's push onto our heels again. Have a seat. Stretch out those wrists one more time. We're gonna come to kneeling, hands on your waist. We're gonna press those hips forward, another back bend here. So elbows are drawing in, our head is coming up and back again, stretching that neck. Yeah, yoga is so, so good for our posture, for countering all the daily movements that we do all day, sitting at the desk, at the computer, hunching over, right? So we so need this. All right, so let's do some circles with the hips here. Let's take it left, forward, side, back, left, forward, side, back. Do 3 in one direction, and then we'll take it to the other direction, right, forward, left, back. Right, forward, left, back, and one more time, right, forward, left, back. Oh. Inhale, let's take our arms up. We're gonna exhale, take it over to the right. Now our hips are going over to the left. My arms are staying close to my ears, and then I'm inhaling back to center. I'm gonna exhale over to the right. Hips are going one direction, fingers are going the other, and then I take it back up. Okay, now I'm gonna take my right foot forward. If this is uncomfortable for that left knee, put a blanket under it. Put a towel under it. Okay, I could totally understand that, right? So we're gonna take our hand back, especially if you have a thin mat, right? It's like a lot on that knee. Push the hips forward, same thing, just like we just did, right? Push the hips forward. We're gonna find that back bend. If you can, if you feel safe enough, where you're unstable enough, throw your head back, look up to the sky. If that's too much, keep looking forward. Find your gaze, find your spot, keep your eyes on the one thing. Make sure that your knee is lined up with your ankle here, your front ankle, and your right heel is on the mat. Don't let that right heel pop up. You're gonna take a big inhale again, and as you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Stay strong though. If you're too flexible here, you're gonna lose your stability. So you have to stay strong. So that means contract those muscles. Contract the left, contract the left quadricep, the right hamstring. Bring them like they're gonna try to meet in the center. And that'll help you stay balanced. Okay, now next exhale, we're gonna push it back to kneeling. And we're gonna take the other leg, left leg forward. Find our center, hips come forward. Make sure everything is aligned, just like we just said. I'm pressing the hips forward, my elbows are coming together, I'm throwing the head back. If I feel centered and balanced, I could really reach back and really find an arch. So my hands at the base of my back, on my low back, right? They're pushing down so that I can lift up. So I'm not overarching my low back. It's not like a crunching of those vertebrae. It's a lifting up and back. So it's really happening at my upper back, right? I'm really arching my upper back. That's what I'm trying to back bend right there. And then I exhale, I'm coming back. Coming back to kneeling. Okay, we're gonna take our first down dog of class. I'm gonna bring my hands back to table. I'm gonna pass table, so I'm going a little past my shoulders, a little ahead of my shoulders, right? This should set you up for a good down dog. I'm gonna curl my toes under, and I'm just lifting my hips up to the sky. Okay, so we all should know all the essentials of our down dog. Basically, what we have to have our wrists lined up with our shoulders, right? And our head falls in between our arms. Our inner elbows start to roll in towards each other, maybe up towards the sky a little bit, but you gotta root through each finger. Each finger really grips the mat. The padding of each finger. Spread those fingers so the middle finger is pointing forward. Look back at the heels. Now maybe the heels touch the mat. They probably won't. I like to keep my knees slightly bent in down dog, but you might need to bend them a lot to get your back nice and flat. And that's okay. What's more important is that your back is flat, then your legs are straight. Eventually you get those legs straighter and straighter. Now from this beautiful down dog, we're gonna inhale it to a plank. Okay, so in our plank, we fire up the core. We draw it in towards the navel. Ideally, you want your heels to line up with your big toe, right? And you want your wrist to line up with your shoulder. You want to tuck your tail a bit, not so you're overarching like you're cat backing, but just so your tailbone is reaching towards your heels. You want to bring your shoulder blades together, closer together, not so you're cat backing, but you're in that neutral spine. Again, or cow backing, I meant. Look forward and down, squeeze and tuck. You have 4 more breaths. 4 and 3 and 2, and then we're going to take it back to our down dog. And breathe. 2 nice long breaths. 2. And now let's walk our feet to our hands. So we're going to be in a forward fold at the top of the mat. I'm forward folding at the top of the mat. Okay, so basics in my forward fold, right? Let's get that down to basics. You are rooting down with the whole entire foot. You want to feel the weight in the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. You do not want to sink back. You want the hips to line up with your ankles. You want your chest to draw towards the legs. The knees slightly bent. If you cannot touch the floor, bring the floor to you. Grab your blocks and put your hands on the blocks. And you know, the joy about the blocks is there's so many different levels. You might have really tight hamstrings right now, and you know what? This is perfect. This is the class for you because you're here to open them up, right? So if you have really tight hamstrings, you do this level, right? And then you work yourself down to the basic, the lowest level, and then to the mat. So here is our forward fold. Shoulders go to the ears, chin to the chest, forehead's aiming for the knees. We fold over into our little cocoon. Weight is over the toes, not totally back into the hips. We're gonna find a flat back here.
So I like to think of a flat back like a cow back, because you're not going to really get a cow back in this position, but it really helps you flatten the back a lot. Okay? None of this. You want to be able to place a cup of coffee right in between your shoulder blades. And you don't want to be too far back in your hips either, okay? So you can find a flat back here with your hands on your thighs. You're pushing back. The idea is to push back with your hands in order to pull forward with the crown of the head, so that your shoulder blades are drawing in and your shoulders are reaching back. And I'm purposely talking here to hold this for a while, because I want you guys to hold this. Now, keeping that flat back, keeping the integrity of the flat back. Let's let our arms come out to the side. Do not change anything, nothing changes. We're gonna swoop the arms towards the front of the mat with our arms by the ears, thumbs up towards the sky. Maybe you need to soften your knees a little bit to keep that flat back. Go for it. But the aim here is to keep your flat back. Now we're gonna hinge at the hips to come to stand. Squeeze your glutes as you come up. Find a bit of a back bend. So you're gonna squeeze your butt cheeks together, bring your hips forward as, again, you're pulling up and back. You're not crunching at the low back ever. And then as you exhale, you come back to center. We're gonna take a side lean over to the right. So I reach up through my fingertips, thumbs back. Keep my head framed with my arms. Take it over to the right. Keep rooting down through both feet. And then I inhale back to center. I'm gonna exhale over to the left. I'm gonna inhale back to center. I'm gonna take an awkward chair here, right? So I'm gonna take a big inhale. Imagine there's a chair behind you and you're trying to sit in it, but you can't move your feet. Okay, and you really want that relief. You really wanna sit in that chair. So the only thing you could do is reach back, right? With your glutes, you're trying to get your butt back on that chair. So, because the feet can't move, so here I go. I'm gonna find that chair, I'm gonna find that chair, oh, there it is. Okay, as soon as I find that chair, I sit. I tuck my tail just a little bit. Again, don't over tuck, just find some length in the low back. Keep the arms by the ears. Now, again, we're gonna hold this for a good solid 5 breaths. So stay in your awkward chair. Keep your arms by your ears. Bring those thumbs back, chin away from the chest. Breathe a little bit deeper maybe. Maybe you haven't tapped that chair yet. And then we gotta smile, because this is a fierce pose that makes us want, to get out of it. But if you smile, it helps. It helps us find a little more ease in the discomfort. Okay, 2 more breaths. And then you're gonna inhale, we're gonna take it up to stand. Okay. I'm gonna take my hands behind me, press the hips forward again with our back bend. Big breath in. Exhale, take it to center. Okay, friends, we're gonna come back to that chair. And then we're gonna step one leg back into a high lunge, okay? We're gonna hold it, but not for quite as long. So we're gonna inhale, arms up. We're gonna find our chair again. We're gonna exhale, have our seat. We're gonna hold just 2 breaths this time. Keep that chest forward. Hips back, chest forward. Not too far forward, not over those thighs, but just at an angle, like a 45-degree angle, right? Now I'm gonna put all my weight in that right leg. I'm gonna step my left leg back. This is my thunderbolt pose because it's just like an awkward chair with one leg out. And I'm really fierce here, really fierce. Thumbs up, reach up. And then as I trace my arms back, I bring my head and body with me and I find my back bend here. Bring your hands on your low back. Press that low back down. So make some room in that low back as you press the hips forward, find your back bend. You might need to bend the back knee a little bit, that's okay. You might lose your stability, keep your eyes open, find your gaze, find your spot. Then inhale, come back to center. My right leg is not moving. It's staying nice and bent the whole time, and that's the point. Trying to burn it out, we're getting really strong. Okay, now I'm taking a side lean over to the right without falling. If you're feeling unsteady here, do not do this, or maybe do a little mini side bend. Reach, my head is still framed with my arms. I'm gonna inhale it back to center. I'm gonna exhale, bow over back to that thunderbolt. Take the left leg, bring it in, hold, have your seat. Inhale, take it back up. Exhale, hands on your waist. Press those hips forward. Find your back bend. Again, press down to lift up. Coming back through center. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Let's find a back bend or a flat back here. We're gonna dive off a cliff. We're gonna make it so pretty. So it's almost like you're pushing off the balls of your hands, right? Balls of your feet. Bringing your arms out to the side, all the way down, fingertips to the mat, chin to the chest. Okay, let's just be here for a couple breaths, a little active recovery before we do the other side. We know what's coming. If you need to, bring your hands on the blocks. Wherever you can root your hands down, root them down. Try to work those legs straight. Try to let the chin just relax. The head is like an anchor here. It does not work. It is pulling you down. The neck is not working at all. Here's your chance to really release all the tension in your upper body. Like just let it fall and melt and trickle to the top of the mat. And it's a great opportunity here, so let's take it. Take it to release that tension. The only place you should be really feeling tension is the back of the legs and maybe your low back a little bit, getting some stretch in that low back. If it's too much for that low back, bend the knees. We don't want to strain it. If you have any low back problems, really be careful and pay attention. So bend the knees, and then you'll get it out of the hamstrings, and you'll just stretch the low back a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna inhale. We're gonna come back to that flat back. So again, remember, the flat back is either hands on the mat, hands on the shins, hands on the thighs, wherever you can find a flat back, right? And you press back and down as your head is going forward. Forward, yeah, okay. And we keep that nice integrity of that flat back. Bring your arms out to airplane. And then reach them over towards the front, arms by the ears. Oh, it gets so much harder here. And we're gonna hold, and we're gonna hold, and we're gonna hold, and then we're gonna take it up. Oh, hinge at the hips. Keep your arms by the ears, find your back bend, squeeze your glutes, lift up and back. Big inhale, take it forward, exhale. Have a seat in your chair. Reach the hips back. Reach them back, reach your fingertips forward. Your chest has to drop a little bit so we keep everything lined up. Nice angle, right, from the tip of your head all the way to your glutes. Now we're gonna shift our weight into the left leg. We're gonna step our right leg back. Here's our thunderbolt. Hold, 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 hold. Inhale, take it up to high lunge. Okay, bend that left knee, keep it bent. Hands are gonna come on your waist. You're gonna press the hips down just like we did. Keep that left knee bent, and maybe you can go back bend. Maybe we could back bend. And if we need to bend the back knee to go a little bit deeper. That's perfectly okay. Let the arms float up by the sides again. And if you feel steady, take it over to the left. Only if you feel steady, look at your spot. Keep your gaze steady. Inhale, center. I know that leg is hurting. We're almost there. Bow forward to your thunderbolt. Step the right leg to meet the left and hold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, find your back bend. And then we exhale, we're gonna dive it out. Swan dive forward, pass through the flat back, fingertips on the mat. Oh my goodness, we are doing so good. Okay, let's bend our knees a bit. Let's step our legs back, find another down dog. Let the head just release again between your arms, chin towards the chest. We're gonna breathe here just a good 5 breaths, a little active recovery again. 4, think of all those points of alignment again, right? Inner elbows, fingers, heels, knees. And that's what we do in yoga. It's about being present right here, right now, and noticing what's happening as we're doing it. It's not getting lost in a dialogue in our head. What we have to do, what needs to get done, who said this, what did this, and how terrible I'm doing with this, and how, all that. No. It's only about noticing what is going on as we're moving, feeling into each part of each body part of each movement, really connecting, becoming embodied, and really connecting to the whole of us, not just what's going on the above the neck, what's going on everywhere. Let's bring the knees to the mat. Oh my goodness. And let's sit on the heels.
We'll do a little stretch of the wrist. Amazing. Very, very impressed. You guys did a really good job. We're gonna start to wind it down. We worked hard today. I think there was a little bit of everything in today's class. We did some strength building. We did a lot of good stretches, a lot of spinal, a lot of back bending. Yeah, so let's wrap it up. It's a beautiful day in the Northeast. We got finally some really great weather today. So I'm happy to share it with you all. Okay, so both legs out. We're gonna do our nice fold over the legs again. Chin to chest. Big inhale, big exhale. Big inhale, oh, big exhale. Fold maybe a little bit deeper. Hamstring should be nice and open right now, so should feel good. We're gonna inhale, take it back up, arms up, just like in the beginning of class, right? We were here before. This time we're gonna add a little spice to what we did. We're gonna lift up a little bit higher. We're gonna exhale to the left. Again, remember, we keep that twist, but now, if it's available to us, I'm gonna press down on the right heel and lift the left toes to my right hand. And I'm gonna hold. Oh, try not to do this. Try to stay nice and lifted. You could even grab that foot and help you stay a little bit taller and then let go again. Oh, good. And then we inhale back to center. So we're gonna do it again. The other side, obviously, we're gonna turn to the right now. As soon as we get there, we're gonna see if we can lift the right foot. Maybe we can grab a hold of it, maybe not. Hold it. Try not to lean back. Inhale, back to center. We're gonna do that one more time each side, get nice and long, and then exhale, turn to the left, tap, hold, hold, hold. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, turn to the right and tap, hold, hold, hold. Take it back to center. We're gonna slowly roll onto our backs. We're gonna bring the knees to chest. We're gonna come back to our ball, chin to chest. Hold and hug. Hug those shins. Maybe grab your forearm or wrap your forearm around it. Chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Keep the chin to chest. Now extend both legs up. Grab a hold of the back of your legs. Try not to lift the tailbone off the mat. Keep the tailbone pressing down. And your belly's down towards the mat too. And hold. Now we're gonna alternate. We're gonna release, let go of the left and bring the right towards the chest. Pull it in. And then switch. Left towards the chest, pull it in. And switch, right? And left. And keep breathing in and out. And 4, pull it in. And 3, pull it in. And 2, pull it even more. And 1. And then both legs back up. We're gonna grab the outside of those legs, pull the knees in towards your armpit. Rock a bit side to side, get into the inner thigh. Yeah, take a happy baby here, so nice. Nice rolling and breathing. Okay, we're gonna end class like we started. We're gonna do a nice bridge. This time we're going a bit deeper because we are so open now, right? So we're gonna take a full expression of bridge pose. We're gonna bring our heels in line with our glutes, knees up towards the sky. You're gonna press into the feet to lift the hips. And then we're gonna interlace the fingers under, and you're gonna walk the arms in together so that the shoulder blades really touch. It's like the arms are right in line, right under the shoulders, basically. You're gonna interlace the fingers, press the heels of the hands together. You're gonna bring the crown of the head to the mat, so lift the chin away from your chest, get the chin away from the chest, and then try to track the chest towards your chin. Imagine the chest is trying to chase your chin and your chin is like pulling away. And then squeeze your glutes, come up a little bit higher, squeeze your glutes even higher, hold it here, hold it, press it into the hands, hold it for a good 5 breaths. Don't let the knees open, keep the knees tracking. Let those inner thighs work. for 5 breaths. Higher, higher, still. Squeeze the glutes still. 3, even higher. Press into the arms more. Last one, release the hands. Now 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll it down 1 vertebrae at a time. Very good. We're gonna extend the legs straight out. We're gonna come into Shavasana now. Palms up, pinky toes, release towards the mat. The palms are up with this gesture of openness, of receiving. So allowing whatever comes to us to come. It's a symbolism of here I am, I'm open. But it's also, anatomy-wise, helps your shoulders kind of rest on the mat a little bit more. It just drops them down. Pinky toes are heavy, so the inner thighs don't have to work and you're just let everything go. So we breathe here, we come back to ourselves again and again. It's a continuous process, right? We leave our body, we come back to it, we leave, we come back to it all day long. You want to check in all day long. So in our practice, it becomes very deliberate, a very deliberate coming back and noticing. So let's not skip over this part. Let's be a witness to what just happened. Let's find that nurturing, loving space again that we inhabited in the beginning of class. Let's find it. And let's be in it as we observe our body response to everything that just happened. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. We often skip past the good stuff. We love to just marinate in the yuck. Think about that all the time and try to fix it or perseverate on it or, worry about it. That is easy to do. We got to make being in the good easy. That takes practice. So let's feel into the good of the post movement. Feel into it, enjoy it, taste it. I'm going to be quiet for a few breaths and then we'll make our way to seated. Your next inhale, let's bring our arms up above our head. Let's point our toes, find ourselves a nice deep body on. We're gonna take a big inhale, we're gonna bring our knees to our chest. As we exhale, keep your arms where they are, just roll over to one side. Roll your knees over to your one side. Yeah, so you're kind of like in this fetal position. Then you'll take one hand, press down to lift yourselves up. So nice. We're gonna let our arms float up by our sides, making their way together above our heads. Palms are gonna touch, we're gonna throw our head back one more time. Maybe you have your eyes open looking at your hands. Maybe your eyes are closed. Whatever feels right for you, you're gonna trace these hands together to heart center as our head follows. Coming to our namaste. Thank you everybody for joining me.